Mega hit light novels are being released one after another. This time, you'll be introducing all the noteworthy light novels that will be released in mid-March. This time, you'll introduce also the new light novels of the pure love genres, such as the new book from Bunko's Otonari no Tenshi-sama and the new book of My Happy Marriage, whose anime was a mega hit last year. In addition to that, there are also plenty of explanatory series from Bunko, so be sure to check out this video to get the latest information. This time, we'll be summarizing the hottest titles from March to March 18. So let's get it started. First up is from Bunko, which released on March 15. Starting from the paperback, this time we'll mainly introduce the noteworthy works of the series. First of all, this is volume 9 of The Angel Next Door's Boys Me Rotten. The latest volume of Tenshi-sama has arrived. It's the latest volume of the main story with a collection of short stories in between. Speaking of the long-awaited new book Tenshi-sama, Saiki-san has gained unshakable popularity for its innovative work, taking first place overall in last year's Konorano due to the effects of the anime adaptation. The second season of the anime has already been decided. It's a sweet and gentle story. The cuteness of Mahiru, the charming heroine, is outstanding. It's a really sweet story that continues, so if you like this series, you'll be hooked onto this. The latest book is about Mahiru. It's likely to be a story about the two of them thinking about their future as they're celebrating their birthdays and starting to think about their futures. To be honest, these two are going straight to marriage season. I think this will continue to progress, so I'm sure it will continue to be sweet and enjoyable as it unfolds. But this time, 2 special seasons will be released. The first one comes with a drama CD. The special edition is priced at 3,300 yen including tax. Furthermore, in addition to the drama season, a special edition with a school calendar will be released, and it will be cost around 4,950 yen including tax. It's a little expensive, but if you miss the special edition once, you won't be able to get it. So it's a good series. So if you're a fan, don't miss it. It's a little expensive, but like I said, if you miss the special edition, you won't be able to get it. So if you're a fan of the series, you shouldn't be missing it. This is volume 13 of the Vexations of a Shut-in Vampire Princess. The latest volume of the comedy and battle fantasy series that begins with Komari, a reclusive vampire girl, becomes a general. There were quite a few good times and bad times, but overall, this was a thoroughly enjoyable anime. I think the voice actor's performance was also a hit, so I personally think that the original work is really interesting. So if you only watch the anime, please give this a try. The balance between battle and comedy is great. Above all, the characters' emotions are quite too unique as the novels as well. It's good to dig deeper into the story, but there's also a part where the cat shovels the problem with Kane. But in the novel, you can clearly understand the emotional movements that lead to the point. This work is cute and expands the worldview as the function progresses. The number of strong heroines is also increased, and in the latest volume, all the heroines gathered in the Majikoku Federation forces, which covered in Blizzard, and a large-scale battle unfolds. It looks like it's going to be quite exciting. Also, since the heroines will gather together, there will be a lot of excitement. Can we look forward to some of these exciting developments? Kamayuri is also an interesting point in the plot, so I'm looking forward to see how it turns out. Aside from that, there will be also a special edition with a drama CD released at the same time. The price is a bit expensive at 3,000 yen, but it's a drama CD with a gorgeous voice actors, so series fans should not miss this as well. And next, this is the third volume of When I Made the Cheeky Childhood Friend Who Provoked Me with You Can't Even Kiss Me, Right? Nowhere Place. she became more cutesy than I expected. It's a romantic school comedy, but the childhood friend is teasing another childhood friend of his. It's spicy but weird at that point, where they suddenly had a kiss as a test, then became too cute for some reason. What follows is a hilarious dance of one-upmanship, playful teasing, and a slow burn that will leave you grinding. This time, Valentine's Day comes up, and Ari decides to prepare chocolates for Ibuki, but things get too cutesy when giving out chocolates slowly becomes a confession. It started out strong, where the childhood friend dynamic is pure gold. The familiarity breeds banter that both laugh out loud, funny, and heartwarming. The heroine's Suniri-like transformation from competitive firecracker to a flustered mess is quality endearing. But from up to the third volume onwards, it slowly becomes a little more erotic. The eyes aren't pure enough to handle anymore. There was also the question to where the supporting cast were while were present. Doesn't get much development. They primarily serve as cheerleaders for the main couple. Overall, it's a great read, and if you're a fan of childhood friends to lovers tropes, light-hearted rom-coms and heroines who are secretly soft underneath their tough exteriors, then this is a definite must-read. Just prepare a sugar rush of cute.
Georgia Bunko also has the third volume of the strongest sage of annihilation magic. A talentless sage masters magic and becomes the strongest, and the older brother of a famous VTuber, but for some reason I became famous. 2. I tried a project with my younger sister Bold.2. In addition, the new series include Desert was reincarnated as a ruthless villainous aristocrat and used my magic to rise to the top of the magical world just when I had given up on the fact that there was no heroine. Someone from the other side approached me without permission. Rare monster. That's just a pest. My daily life at home, which turned into a dungeon before I knew it, was posted and it went viral. Volume 1 will also be released. If you're interested, please check it out as well. Next up is Gagaga Bunko, which will be released on March 18th. Let's start with the notable sequel titles in the series. First of all, this is the 5th volume of Witch and Hound. The previous volume of the series was released last year, Volume 5. It's been a while since I've released a new book. It's a very complete dark fantasy, so I think it's a series that has a lot of core fans. The main story is about a small country caught up in war that uses the power of magicians to fight back against a large country whose territory continues to expand and scouts out the evil witches scattered around the world to make allies. While making friends with witches who have one or two quirks, you can do various things. It's a decent dark fantasy game with plenty of deception and full-fledged battle scenes. The witches, who are featured in each episode, are characters that incorporate similar elements, which also adds to the worldview. It contributes to the atmosphere, and it seems that the setting in the latest volume is the Land of Oz. It's clear that the Wizard of Oz is a motif, but the witch in that country is already dead, so I wonder how the story will unfold from there. I think the cover character is a witch, but I wonder how things will turn out. If you want to enjoy a full-fledged dark fantasy, you should check out this series.
This is the Volume 8 of the public servant Shinobu Nakata. This series depicts the daily comedy of different people. This is the end of the series and the story is reaching its climax. Even so, the cover is sharp. It's surprising that the main character is in a white tuxedo, which is the first time ever I've seen him. It's an unprecedented design, and I'll keep attacking this series until the very end. The main character, Nakata, picks up an elf from another world, and the work-related story of Nakata and his somewhat mysterious daily life are depicted. But anyway, the main character has one habit and two. He has such a strong personality that he has 3 quirks. That's the main point of this work, and it's interesting to have a cross-cultural exchange with the elves. But the main character's thinking is so crazy that it makes you wondering if he's an alien, so it's a cross-cultural exchange. There's even a feeling that this is what is interesting about this book. The story is centered around an elf girl and evolves into a serious, readable content. But in the latest volume, I wonder if the story will have a happy ending or not. The story will return to its lively and noisy daily life. Fans of the series should follow this work until the end to find out what the final voice of the protagonist will be. This is volume 2 of The Girls Incident. It has a dangerous atmosphere on the cover, but the first volume of this series was quite actually interesting. Surprisingly, it was a supernatural action work with suspense elements, and the story was more appealing than I expected. Well, in the first volume, you have special abilities in the future. Therefore, the story is about the main character struggling to save a girl who has learned that she is going to die. If you look at the storyline alone, it was a pretty standard story. However, the immoral elements were added to it, creating a unique atmosphere. The author, Ryuo is from my second girlfriend author from Bunko. That's because he's the author of this series, so there are a lot of erotic elements in other series of him as well. This work is definitely interesting, but to be honest, it has some really maniacally erotic elements, so it's hard to recommend it, honestly. However, if you read it knowing that there's a problem, I think you'll definitely enjoy it. Basically, it's a story about helping girls who have acquired supernatural powers. In the latest issue, it seems like a new lowly heroine will appear. She seems like a beautiful girl who's a bit of a downer, and that's the main character. The story begins with an unusual situation which the elementary school heroine buries her as a dog. No, it's a story that skipped the second volume quite a bit. If you're curious about what kind of incidents will be involved in the story, please check it out from volume 1. In addition to that, the second volume of Dirty Hypnosis Child, Sad News, a low-class dungeon streamer who is a young lady doesn't notice that she's forgot to turn off the stream and beats up a colleague, volume 2, and the final volume of Speak in Cat Language here will be released. This will also be the final chapter, so the series will reach its climax. Lately, there has been a rush to conclude this series. Fans of the series should not miss this. Let's take a look at Bunko's new series. This time, Bunko has a lot of new interesting works. First of all, here is the love between a pure girl and a clumsy macho is so intense. The author, Hideaki, is from Bunko as well. It's been quite a while since it was released, but I personally like his debut work, That Revenge Hana Session. I highly recommend it as a classic romance novel. The main character and the heroine of this new work are exactly as the title suggests. The main character is a student at a school who loves muscle training and can do 130 kilos on the bench press. The heroine has 50 followers on social media. Both of them are girl influencers who are more than 1 million people. It's a deep character development. Seems like the two of them started off in a situation where they have unrequited love for each other. And in terms of the genre, it seems like they have mutual feelings for each other. It seems like also they are both quite in the dark and it's hard to close the distance between them. So it looks like it's going to be a romance comedy about a lot of people. The characters are well seasoned, but they are simple for a romantic comedy, and I think the author is somewhat complicated of way of drawing the characters will make you fall in love with this work. So I think you can expect a lot from it. If you like the author's love comedies, check out this story. Next up is Solid State Overdrive. This is a new work by Mitsunori Enami, who writes many dark and hard-boiled works. The atmosphere of the cover illustration is quite rare in light novels these days, so it's quite eye-catching. This work features both robot and a girl. It looks like it will be a traveling sci-fi road novel. The story begins in the near future, where two major powers continue their war using robot soldiers. The story begins when two robots who were collecting scraps and doing plastic surgery on the front lines of such a war found a girl. It's a yoga-like time travel game where you travel to the far west where the girl's house is. Speaking of the author, I'm impressed by the splat and violent style of the story, but this work seems to be a pseudo-family series, so it seems quite interesting. The combination of a robot and a human girl is also somewhat sad. It feels like it's going to be the ending, or rather it has a aura becoming a masterpiece, so I think I'll keep checking out. The Bunko also introduced new series includes betrayal distribution of a fallen hero after being exiled and thrown into a hidden boss room. He begins to broadcast boss and explorer dungeon hunting. This will be also released from Gagaga. Furthermore, this is a dragon distribution, so it's quite hot and it also definitely a trend. If you're interested, please check out this as well. Now, I have introduced Gaga Bunko's notable works above. And finally, let's check out the other notable works. This time, we will pick 3 works. First of all, this is the 22nd volume of Majo no Tabi Tabi, which is now on sale by Ga Novel on March 15. This is the label's signboard. It's a travel fantasy that has also become a tourist attraction for readers, and the pace of citing is extremely stable. If you notice it, there will be a lot of functions. This time, the series has an attractive travel story in which the witch Elena visits various countries and repeats encounters and partings. The first series was Kills Mercy. What was published was made into a commercial version from Ga Novel. There was a history of releasing it, but now it has 22nd volumes long and has been made into an anime. It's pretty amazing. I've been wondering if they decided to make into a second season. Well, the story of this work, but Elena's journey continues in this latest volume. And let's introduce the new series of notable works from Ga Novels. I was made fun of for being a window editor, but I end up living with a high school twins. I'll introduce this one. It's a title that seems like a romantic comedy with an age difference, but by the window. I'm curious about the keyword editing. The main character of this work is a light novel editor, and when light novels are involved in the story, I'm naturally interested. The main character is ridiculed by those around him for being a manga editor, and his wife cheats on him and leaves him his house. It all starts with a very inconvenient situation for being kicked out. The romantic comedy begins when the main character is visited by the mysterious high school twins who have a run away from home. Apparently, these twins from time when the main character was negotiating with the students themselves about cram school. It seems like they are starting to live together like a lesson, but my liking for the main character is at its max. So it looks like it's going to be a slapstick romantic comedy where the heroine from Tokyo will approach her. Personally, if the editor is a subject, I want her to work hard as a worker, so I'm really curious to see what will happen around here. It's a new work, so I'm thinking about buying it. And let's introduce the new series of notable works from Ga Novels. I was made fun of for being a window editor, but I end up living with a high school twins. I'll introduce this one. It's a title that seems like a romantic comedy with an age difference, but by the window. I'm curious about the keyword editing. The main character of this work is a light novel editor, and when light novels are involved in the story, I'm naturally interested. The main character is ridiculed by those around him for being a manga editor, and his wife cheats on him and leaves him his house. It all starts with a very inconvenient situation for being kicked out. The romantic comedy begins when the main character is visited by the mysterious high school twins who have a run away from home. Apparently, these twins from time when the main character was negotiating with the students themselves about cram school. It seems like they are starting to live together like a lesson, but my liking for the main character is at its max. So it looks like it's going to be a slapstick romantic comedy where the heroine from Tokyo will approach her. Personally, if the editor is a subject, I want her to work hard as a worker, so I'm really curious to see what will happen around here. It's a new work, so I'm thinking about buying it. So this time, I've introduced the new works that will be released in mid-March. There were some big titles this time, but personally, I'm really interested in Bunko's lineup. There are many series with limited numbers, so if you haven't read it yet, please check them out. What do you think about the lineup this time? If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section. That's all for this video. We'll be introducing the popular lineups again next week, so please support the channel. I would be happy if you click the subscribe button or watch another video. See you in the next video again. Goodbye.